Hi, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Hamsata.
And I'm Jeanine, and you're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Radio.
Music. Hey everybody, we're back to the back. What's it called?
Wavelengths?
Yeah, we was on different rhythms for a little bit, but we're gonna ignore that. Before we get into like the deep topic of today, as y'all heard in the last episode, if you haven't, that means you haven't listened. Go listen to the last episode. Thank you very much.
Period. And that's on per.
Oh God. That's on per. We are gonna finish up a little question from the last episode. Do you feel like people can ever fully change?
Ooh.
Now, Hamsata, you can finally give your little 2 cents. You wanted to get so bad in the last episode.
Let my girl speak. Hashtag let my girl speak. Go ahead, Hamsata.
Yeah, take your ear off now.
Oh, I feel attacked. But what I wanted to say on that, I want to bring this up. I learned communications. So you know how like this core. Ooh, that's not mine no more. But there's like core stuff that you have, and there's like the societal thing, and then there's like the environmental thing, you know, like the 3 circles. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah. Essentially, I feel like people can change their core, because I feel like by the time you come to change that core, it's been embedded you to the point. I mean, I feel like it's possible, but it's gonna be very, very difficult.
Change their core.
Like that, they cannot. Like changing it would be very, very difficult, but it's possible. But for the majority, for the majority of people, no. To fully change, you'll have to change your core, and I think your core to be changed is like quite difficult. So essentially, no. I don't think somebody could fully change. I think they could partially change and majoritarily change. But changing that core is just going to be so difficult. That's like all the things in your childhood, the things you grew up with, and the things that kind of set you up for what the patterns you do in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you don't come and reassess them early in life, by the time you've passed that period just to go change them, it's ultimately going to be like almost impossible. But like, you know, anything's possible if you put in the right stuff or whatever. But
it's going to take years.
Yeah, it's just going to be very, very difficult. So I don't really think... It's possible, yes, but for, like, the main
majority of
people. Yeah. Because nobody wants to put in that much work. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. Would you really want to put in all that work? I feel like if you get, like, most of it, like, 97% of it done, you basically a brand new person.
I consider that full.
Right. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like it really...
when I think full, I just think not necessarily you're 100% changed, but more like how you present yourself, how you come, how your mindset is almost unrecognizable.
Ooh, that, yes.
Like, you seem like two different people.
I think that's very possible.
I think that's possible, too. I've seen that happen,
yeah. It's like I've watched people grow through social media. It's kind of weird, because I never see people to grow. I've moved too much to ever see somebody ever evolve. But, like, when I see people's mindset change and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, you've grown as this person. And I usually tell them this, too. I'm like, hey, I've seen your growth over social media. Like, I would just like to let you know, if nobody's told you, your growth is amazing, and I'm proud of you.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. Y'all take some tips.
Yeah, like, I let people know. Like, I love people growing.
Can you please repeat your name into the microphone?
I'm good.
What's your name?
Hamsata.
Yeah, don't play with her.
Age, address,
let
me stop.
Like, she's talking real, and y'all not.
Period.
Y'all not hearing it.
I personally feel like, can people change? Yes. It's just a matter, will I stick around to wait to see you change? No.
Oh.
I keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
Would you come back if somebody changed?
Oh, 100%.
But you're just not going through the process.
Yeah, because the damage has already been done at that point. Like,
I feel like
ain't nothing much I could do for you.
It depends on the relation I have with that person. Like, if it's somebody close to me, I'll stay throughout the process. Not necessarily, like, holding hands, but, you know, daily, like, little checkups here and there. But it's somebody I kind of adjacently know. It's like, do your growth. Come back to me when you want to come back to me, like, you know.
I think it also depends on, like, what it is. I think I'm thinking in terms of, like, harmful, like, when people have been, like, toxic towards you. Okay. And then it's like, I've changed as a person, but it's like, I don't think I can. Like, I'm happy for you, and I 100% want you to go out there and get more friends and be a great person to them. But, yeah, like, you've done way that too. Or the 3. No, you not even top 5. But you've done too much damage. It's just like, I'll watch you from a distance from now. Or just not watch you, period.
Nah, I agree.
I wish you best, though.
Yeah, but somewhere else. I wish you best somewhere else. Janine's nodding for those who can't see her.
Yeah.
Okay, into the topic we're talking about today. Today we are talking about boundaries.
Set them. Forget people. You don't need them. You don't need people. No, I'm sorry.
We can get into boundaries and different dynamics, what our boundaries are, this, that, the third. We need to talk about the purpose of boundaries, which is to protect. What are we protecting? When you're setting boundaries, like, what are you protecting?
My body, my mind, my soul, my relationship with God, and my heart. Because you're not playing with any part of me.
I think that's a good set list right there.
Right,
I'm not
like,
gonna lie.
Right. Like, okay. Like, I generalize, I just be like, my piece.
Oh, my piece. Well, that's what I mean. But yeah, my piece.
You got that. No, that was in there. That was definitely in there. No, I heard it.
But no, yeah, my piece is a big one.
And I want to say that, but sometimes I be letting people compromise my piece. But
me too.
We can talk about it later. First dynamic we're talking about is setting boundaries with friends. Can you be friends with someone who is seen from the general public as a bad person? How do y'all feel about that?
If I know they're not a bad person, I can be friends with them. As long as
Would
I
you
know.
initiate a friendship with somebody or be willing to start a friendship with somebody who is generally known and even to you as somebody who is bad or toxic or etc.?
Well, for me, friendships in general, I don't intentionally do anything. They kind of just form. So, like, if I just meet this person, I don't catch a bad vibe, even though I've heard it. I'm like, I'll keep it at the back of my mind for sure. Because, like, if a lot of people are saying something about a person, something has to be true.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But if I'm not seeing that with my relation with that person, I'm going to still, like, go ahead and pursue and stuff and see where that leads me. And if we end up being friends, we end up being friends. And if somebody's like, oh, this is a bad person, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
To you.
Yeah.
To you.
Because I also believe certain people behave in certain ways towards like who they want to, you know, like to some people they'll show real. Like their bad sides, and some people they'll show their good sides. And
I agree.
Sometimes like I have not experienced the bad side from some people that people are like they awful. I'm like I have not experienced that, so
exactly.
I cannot work based off of that as long as they haven't caused like unreparable harm.
Yeah, like if it's something crazy,
horrible,
yeah,
like. They just be treating you mean. I'm sorry, I've not seen any meanness out of them.
Right.
I will keep them away from you. I will not invite y'all to the same.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
But my personal relationship with them will be continuing.
Right. And I agree.
They just did you crazy.
Yeah, like there's some things you're like, whoa, like I could never. Yeah.
Like, you did them
I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. If it's like a general, like I've heard from random people that, oh, she did this, she did that. I'm not gonna lie. If that person wanted to be my friend, I don't think I would actively look for a relationship with a friendship with them. But they would probably have to try a little bit harder to be my friend, just because it's like, damn, all this is being said, and I don't know anything about you. It's like, I'm a little cautious, but I will see. But if you do my friend dirty, I don't know you. I don't know you.
Like
I don't know your name.
It gets a little sticky when like
a little sticky.
No,
I don't know you.
I've had really close friends being like head to head with each other, like people picking sides. I stuck it out through both of them.
I was about to say, like, sometimes when it's like you already knew the other party, but then they do them dirty.
No, that's like, different. Like two best friends fighting and all three y'all were best friends. That's kind of different.
But yeah, if I knew something was going around, I feel like 80% of the time it doesn't matter what it is for me. I'm gonna have it in the back of my head, and what I'll do is I'll just use that information not to treat them any differently, but to look out for warning signs.
Oh, for yourself.
I'll be extra cautious about certain scenarios, certain this, certain that.
I start seeing stuff. It's been fun, sweetie.
I wouldn't even go that far. I would probably just, if I see the sign, then I feel like I have enough to approach them on the subject. Because I still want them to tell me their side and their two-piece.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
But I would not let that prevent me from becoming friends with them. I would just be very cautious, especially when it comes to, like, people being sneaky and vindictive and, like, doing things behind people's backs. I won't even say I won't become... I can get really cool with them, possibly friends, depending on, like, that explanation. But I just know not to bring certain things up around them.
Oh, yeah, no.
Have, like,
certain conversations,
yeah,
for sure.
So it'll more limit the possibilities of how we become friends, but I wouldn't say it prohibits us in any way. to be friends.
That makes sense.
Because everybody needs a friend.
For sure. Sometimes I'm just not that friend for you.
I love how Jeanine's always like.
She's so real. She's so real. I love it so much.
I don't care.
And this is why I be honored every day to be like, my friend Jeanine.
Y'all so aggy. She really is. Y'all so aggy.
She's so real. Oh my gosh. I was
like, I'd be like, if you want to be friends with Jeanine,
it's going to
put it out.
Right.
Bad. But, okay, next one. Do you let your friends walk over you? Because, you know, when it comes to boundaries, like, I'm not letting no stranger walk over me. Sometimes I let my friends walk over me. I'm going to be honest. And who do you put first in your dynamic when it comes to your friendship and boundaries? Like, are we respecting boundaries equally? Are we going based off their boundaries? Are you making them go fully based off your boundaries? Like, how does that dynamic look for you and your friendships?
We are respecting each other's boundaries. We are stating each other's boundaries, and we are respecting it. And also, like, mistakes will happen, and you will learn from that. Like, for me, a big thing is, like, my phone is available 24/7 to my friends. Whether it's 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. If you get to be my friend, if we become friends, not get to, because that makes it like you guys like an honor or something. It's not all that. But, like, it's really not.
Run back 3 episodes ago, we were like, it's an honor.
People change. No, it's not even that deep. But like, if you are my friend and I genuinely like, I care for you, my phone is open 24/7. But one of my boundaries is kind of just like, don't overdo it. Yeah. Like, don't be calling me at like 6 a.m. I was like, hey, I was bored. Let me just talk to you real quick. Girl, get off my phone. I just feel like state your boundaries with your friends and everybody respect them if you want to have that friendship. If you're not going to respect your friends' boundaries, go ahead and end that friendship because you don't like them that much.
Ooh. Okay.
I think that's a good point.
Do you let your, like, beyond your friend boundaries, do you ever let your friends walk over boundaries that you don't let strangers walk over, your parents and stuff like that?
My time. A stranger would never call me at anything. Decline. No, but friends, yes. Especially like with
to the point of your own deprecation sometimes?
Yeah, especially with like being vulnerable. Like if they're like really like, Jeanine, tell me what's going on. And like they're really pressing. I don't like talking about it because I feel like I'm giving up parts of myself. But I'll say a little 2 cents about it if that's what you want to hear, friend.
What about you, Hamsata? She laughing. I
wish y'all could see Hamsata in this corner talking about some, yeah, it's just me, Hamsata. That's what it's giving. It's giving, yeah, living my best life with these headphones. Go on, friend. Go on, friend. You're not always rooting for you.
I'm the only one that got headphones on right now.
Yep.
I like forgot what the question was.
Oh my God. She's in her own world.
You let your friends walk over boundaries you don't let other people walk over to the point of like your personal boundaries?
I feel like there's a question before that. I think that was like the part 2, but what?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. What did I say? I don't remember.
Oh, but if you want me to answer that one more time because I disregarded it because I thought the second one was going to come.
I'm going to move on because the next one's related.
No. Stepping on boundaries, friends. I'm lying. I don't remember.
Okay, answer this one first.
Okay.
What boundaries do your friends need to cross for them to not be your friend anymore?
Ooh, that's a... Ooh.
Girl, what are you... Get away from that
I know you ain't.
No, because I heard it, so I was like,
it's giving mini farts. I said, ain't no way. But go ahead.
Boundaries that my friends cross that'll make me not be friends with them no more, right? See, like, let's piggyback on the previous question, like, boundaries that I set with my friends, right? I feel like, for me, it's never something I've been, like, too intentional about. I feel like my friends kind of test the waters, and we kind of test the waters with each other. I mean, should we have conversations about boundaries? Probably. But, like, that's never been an established thing within friendships. It's kind of been more so you kind of present things and somebody doesn't feel comfortable with it. You recognize that. You apologize and stuff. And then, like, you, like, step back. Yeah, because I feel like also we all acknowledge that we don't know each other that well. So if we do something that made somebody uncomfortable, just, like, let them know you felt uncomfortable if they didn't know that already.
But what they did, and they just walked over your boundaries.
Well, like, you somebody can't know if you don't let them know. Like, because everybody...
I'm saying, but if they know.
Oh, if they know?
This is like a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, sis. Over a boundary.
I'm just saying, like... Oh, I was going to the back question, but, like...
Bad,
yeah, because I did say backtrack.
Yeah.
But, like, if a friend, like, if they walked over a boundary...
That was established?
Like, how you gonna go back? Like, first of all, are you gonna end the friendship?
It depends what boundary got crossed. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not, like, too,
Your boundaries
like...
have a hierarchy?
Yeah, so, like, some things are just like, oh, okay, whatever. But, like, I feel like it also depends on the repetitiveness of it. Like, something that's small, but you keep doing it frequently, that's showing me that you don't...
So I'm trying to think of small, but, like, don't come
like,
in my room or something.
Ooh, that's kind of big for me. I like my room a lot. Let's just say, this is not really a real one.
You do?
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't like people using the R word around me.
What's the
Oh,
R word?
that's unacceptable, actually. To me, no. Because after my
What's
cousin...
the R word?
Girl,
I could type it, but I'm not...
Yeah, because I'm like, what is
I'm
the
not
R
going to
word?
say it.
what people like to call special needs people.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Get
You're still
it.
not getting it? Okay, I could type it for you. I just don't... Yeah, I definitely know. Because especially
I'm looking
after...
at it, I'm like, what?
Because my cousin is, like, autistic, right? And stuff like that.
word?
This one.
Oh.
I don't like that word.
So, like...
Or stupid. I don't like when people... Well, that's kind of small, but I still don't like when people like, oh my God, you so stupid. I be like, damn, I'm stupid.
Don't ever call me... I could call myself that, but
Yeah, but don't do
that.
it to me, but back to, yes.
I feel like if anything, I might playfully say, like... I don't know. I might say, like, as, like, you know that joke of, like, oh, are you dumb? But, like, you say it in a special voice. Like, that maybe.
Not
but...
special voice.
Like
no,
the meme, like...
Yeah, like that. Like, you know, that's
Yeah.
strictly playful and never, like,
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
calling
I
you
don't
like
calling
that.
people stupid.
But, like, stupid, no. Like,
Especially in arguments, oh my God.
but I think that's kind of serious. Maybe I gotta
That's
rethink.
serious.
I don't like when my friends call themselves stupid. I'll be like, you're not stupid. Don't say that to
That's
yourself.
something I've been unlearning. I've definitely been, like, calling myself that a lot. And I'm like, girl, if you speak that, I guess you believe it. Do I really believe it? No, so you gotta stop saying it.
But yeah, the R, like, just because I'm more lenient with it sometimes, because some people, they grew up with that word in their vocabulary, and they didn't learn till later in life that is, like, disrespectful or wrong. And then also, it might be because they hang out with people and it's fine for them, just don't say it around me. So I understand if everybody else you're hanging around, that's what you say. So it might take you, like, you might slip up around me a few times. But if I feel like you're just really playing out the word, at that point, I feel like you're being disrespectful to me because you're just not caring about
your boundary,
about my space. And I wouldn't even necessarily, like, I don't know, it's gone to the point I wouldn't be friends, but I will start spending less time around you, or I will just get quiet. Because, like, I'm irritated now. And, like, because I would say I'm pretty forgiving.
I think you are too.
But... Yeah.
Sometimes to the detriment of you, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, and the other problem with me, like, I'll forgive, and you know how nigga be like, I'm gonna forgive, I won't forget, but I'm gonna dead the issue?
Yes! As soon as you come...
No!
As soon as you...
Come on!
People will love you and support you when it's beneficial. I'm gonna forgive, I won't forget, but I'm gonna dead the issue!
Yeah, that nigga went crazy on that. But my problem is, I be forgiving and forgetting, and I won't remember until
Oh, God!
Again. That's where my problem comes in. So, like, even when it comes to that, like, especially because I'm trying to forgive and I don't want to hold it against them, especially if I see that they're trying or it's an accident, I will purposely forget, but then it'll, like, all the times it's happened before will come out once I forget.
Yeah.
And then I start slowly getting pent up. And then eventually it's like, okay, you're disrespecting me at this point. Especially because, and I think the part where I find it so disrespectful, it is such a small thing for you to change. It's such a small action for you to do that will make me significantly happier. So the fact that you just don't care about that, to me, just...
As a friend, that's crazy.
Like, as long as I see that you're trying, it's like, but... Yeah, that's, like, something... There's a few other words that are like that for me. Like, just don't use that around me. It's okay, use around this, that, third. Don't use it when I'm in your presence. Like, little actions, like, just don't do that in my presence.
Are we talking about the R word? Or just, like, things in general?
No,
just saying other words.
That was just the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. There's just a few little things here and there, like, I really don't like. It really brings down my whole mood. I just feel nasty in your presence. I don't want to feel nasty in your presence. We're friends. So I would prefer you to keep that out of our friendship. And if you really can't do that, I just feel like you're not taking me serious as a friend. Because it's something so small that you can easily remember.
But I would also like to ask, like, do you ever tell people why, like, don't say these things, or you just tell them don't say it and that's it? Because I feel like if you had potentially tell them why.
The first time I'll just be like, oh, like, can you not say that around me? And if they say it again or like 2 more times, whatever, then I'll be like, hey, like, I really don't like that word. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'll go through an explanation. Like, one of the schools I went to, it was like a school for people who couldn't or like didn't want to do regular school. And that went anywhere from a lot of people being special needs, which was majority of the clientele, to also people who, like, were either actors or professional, like, training for the Olympics, whatever, so they couldn't do regular school because of the timing, or they were just, like, really smart and they were trying to get ahead fast, whatever it was. But because the majority of the school was for special needs, and, like, my mom, like, she worked for a long time with that demographic, and, like, that's what I've been around for a lot of my life, I just find it very personally, like, I just don't want to hear it. It's disrespectful.
See,
like,
here's the thing, right? I don't feel like if they're a friend, I trust them. If they come up to me and, like, they actually take the time to be like, I don't like when you use this word. Like, could you please not even like, don't ever use this word ever again, ever on anybody, but just like,
just
I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to hear the why. I take that as it is. I won't say it again. And that's
But I was just asking.
I definitely see what you're saying. But I was trying to say.
I was gonna say, because if they knew the why, I feel like also.
Better?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Let's just let you finish. Let's just let you finish. Go ahead, Hamsata.
I was gonna say, if they know the why, I feel like they could also take it upon themselves to just remove that word from their vocabulary, not only around you, but just in general. And I feel like if you know a why about something, somebody feels strongly against it. I guess also, like, you could say, oh, I won't use it around you, but I feel like if you really, like, had a valid reason, I feel like for that, for example, like the R word, I feel like, let's say I was an avid user of it and you told me that, I would just never use that word again. And I feel like if you still use it after me telling you said story, I feel like I also just couldn't associate myself with you after that. Do you know what I mean?
I do, but I just don't feel that way because if it's not around me, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but, like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's true. If it's around you, you don't know.
Around me, I don't know. So that's why I feel like it's so small too. Like, I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking you to completely cut it out. I just don't want it around me.
Yeah. You would never know. But if I ever find out, and you an active user, not even like a little spiel there, I mean, even that's a problem, but yeah.
Yeah. Now,
but that's why I was just asking for the why, just to see, like, yeah.
Do you have different, like, what different boundaries do you have set for your black friends versus your minority friends versus your white friends?
I don't want to be racist, right?
Okay.
And
how do you feel about that statement of black people can't be racist?
I don't think black people can be racist. I think they can be extremely prejudiced, and I think a lot of times people like to interchange actions that are prejudiced and racist because there are a lot of actions that can be both, but those are still two different things. So black people can, in my opinion, be prejudiced because of race, but not racist because there's nothing backing that up, institutionalizing it. And I feel like a great example of that, there was this study, is basically like, you know, there's that whole stigma of a black man walking down the street and a white woman clutching her purse. People see that and they understand what's going on. Whether they're racist or not, if they're not racist, they're like, oh, that lady's being racist because he's black. They think that he's going to steal whatever. If you're racist, you think, okay, there's a good chance because he's black, he's going to steal. That's racist and prejudice to me. The difference is prejudice. If a white man was walking down the street and a black woman clutched her purse, people would just be like, what? You see what I'm saying? It's a completely different dynamic. It's the exact same actions, but completely different dynamic. In that situation, you're being prejudiced. You clutching your purse because you don't want the white person to steal, yes, you're being prejudiced, and it's based on race, but it is not racist. There is nothing fundamentally behind that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I definitely, like, had not a debate, but I guess more of a debacle of this. Like, I remember at first, before I knew these things, like being prejudiced and stuff, I definitely thought you could be, but then when she broke it down and stuff, I was like, yeah, I see why people say black people can't be, like, racist or, like, stuff. But, like, Jeanine, sorry.
Yeah, I did. No. I'm thinking. No, it's not a big thought. I was just thinking. I was just going to say, like, I agree. But I feel like sometimes, like, I've heard certain people, like, they'll use that as an excuse to, like, say racist things. I feel like...
But see, to me, they're not saying racist things.
But it's still not okay.
Things. And I think what part of the problem is people like to think that racism is worse than prejudice.
I draw my line as it's still not okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, regardless.
You're not gonna,
yeah.
like...
But I feel like what you're talking about, like, I agree. People will use that as an excuse.
Like, you're not going to say a racial slur to another ethnic group or another minority group.
Yeah, that's never okay.
And be like, I'm black, it's okay. No, sis.
I'm thinking of black people and white people.
Yeah, I was too.
Oh, yeah. I agree. One thing about me, when it comes to black versus white, which there shouldn't be, we believe in equality, but I'm going to stand by black people.
Equity?
Yeah, because there is no such thing as equality. Equity.
Yeah, because in that sense, because that's another thing, because people like to think that just because it's not racist, what they're saying in this, that, the third about white people or to white people is not as bad. And on an individual basis, to me, it can be just as bad, if not worse. There are certain situations that might be racist, but the prejudice that is returned can be much worse than the racism that
definitely agree.
And people just want to automatically assume that prejudice stops at a level 8 and then racism may start at a 2 but it goes all the way up to a 10. No, I think they can both go to a 10.
I also feel like when white people are in the mix, like, no offense, but when it comes to, like, talking about racist things, I don't think there's anything that, in my opinion, there might be, I may have not considered it, but from my experience, I don't feel like, I can't imagine a black person doing something that's classified as racist to a white person that's actually going to make a significantly big impact and make them either oppressed or anything of that sort.
What is it?
In terms of, like, it's going to, like, affect the...
Equality feels like oppression for those who are benefiting from it.
Yeah, essentially that. I'm not saying that you should go out there and be not racist, but you should go out there and be prejudiced towards white people. I'm just saying that we need to acknowledge the fact that, like, what they can do to us, it's 10 times more harmful. Not just on us, like, mentally, but, like, literally on our lives, in our system. Than what we could do to them.
Versus our actions are just more personalized and it's more one-on-one versus it being an institute and having history stuck behind it. There's no history behind whatever. Right?
Well, let's get back to boundaries.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here.
It was because I asked the question.
Yeah, because I asked about the different boundaries you said.
And then you said not to be racist, and I was like, let me.
Oh, yeah. So back to what I said.
Yeah.
I think I have one white friend that I would consider an actual friend. Everybody's treated the same. But I just think I'm more closer towards black people because there's an understanding there. So
what boundaries, do you feel like there's any different boundaries you have set for?
If I won't talk about racial interactions with my white friends. And the only reason is because, number one, I don't want to have to explain too much. Does that mean, especially like I'm talking about my racial encounters.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to explain too much because, number one, like, I already go through it so much because we're in the United States. Yeah. I'm not sitting there to be like, let me break it down to you, sweetie. Like, no, I just want to be understood and we just move on from that. So there's certain conversations that I will not have. And also there's certain conversations about being an immigrant that I will not have with non-immigrants.
That's fair. That's understandable.
I probably have boundaries and conversations. But other than that, no. Like, y'all chilling.
What about for your black friends versus your other minority friends who are not black?
Same thing. To me, if you're not black, then... not to be disrespectful, but, like, if you're not black, then, like, you're
not black.
Except for Native Americans! I stick by Native Americans.
It's more of a, what is it, BIPOC?
Yeah, I'm more partial towards black people. Yes, and dark-skinned Indians. Yeah. That is so specific. It really is. It's so specific. But I am more partial towards brown people. Yeah. Native Americans, black people, Indians, South just Asians, brown.
The Browns.
South Asians. Yeah. Southeast. Oh, that's where Indian is. But, just brown people. I'm more partial towards them. And then within that, I'm more partial towards black people.
I definitely have certain, and it's not even always on purpose. It's just, like, literally how I feel. Just, like, like you said, there's certain situations, conversations, blase, 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 I'm not going to have with my non-Black friends. And there's a lot of conversations that I'm not going to have with my non-minority friends. Because I do have a lot of friends that are minorities that aren't specifically Black. And, like, I feel more comfortable having, like, what you talked about, explaining certain things to them. And I feel like it doesn't take me as much because a lot of times they'll, not necessarily that it's the same thing, but they'll have comparisons within their own ethnic of situations like that. Like, I'll even talk about, like, oh my gosh, me and my best friend, yes, but I can't even remember what it is. I wish I could because it was so funny. But I made some comparison joke between strangers touching my Black hair and people, like, touching her hijab. And, like, just that, like, obviously it's not the exact same thing.
But
there's an understanding of, like, somebody has just crossed the personal boundary for no reason around your face. And so, like, it's just easier to explain certain things just because even though it's not the same thing, there's comparisons and there's some things that are understood even though they are not the exact same.
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, what the comparison would be with somebody who's not a person of color.
Yeah.
Like, you touch my hair, I touch your... Nothing.
Yeah, and because there's, like, again, there's that history behind it. Like, me going out and touching some strange white lady's hair, I'm going to look like a villain.
Yeah, that's
I'm
insane.
the bad guy. Either they're not going to care or they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this Black girl is touching me.
She's acting weird, but these are some. Are those braids? Yes, girl, they're braids. Let them go.
Literally, because I was leaving church this one time. I had long, like, to my butt, small, knotless braids. I feel something, like, I feel my hair lifting.
No, I
can feel my hair lifted. I'm thinking, because sometimes, you know, it's so long, you get caught on handles and stuff like that. I think my hair got caught on the door handle. I turn around, and as I turn around, I watch my hair slip out of this white woman's hands.
That is insane.
And I'm looking down at her hand, and we both looking down at her hand. She looks up at me, and she just smiles.
Girl, what?
Smiling.
She smiled at me, and I did not know what to do, because I was like, I cannot go off on this strange white lady in this white church. I'm going to look the three black families that go here, I'm going to make them all look bad.
I would have picked my hair up and swung at her face. I'm like, you want to touch it? Touch it now.
That's the thing. I can't even get mad because
I know.
every Black lady. And then I make all the Black people look bad because, especially when it comes to minorities, the one represents the all.
No, for
some
sure.
reason, when it comes
Which is crazy to me.
When it comes to white people, it's not quite the same. And I don't know if part of it is probably because we're in the U.S. And it's majority white and white power, this, that, the third. But a lot of times, like, even within white spaces, like, one white person doing something, they never think of it representing their whole demographic.
I think it's like white people are thought of as individuals, but for some reason Black people are thought of
minorities
as like...
minorities are not. We are apparently a monolith. We are not a monolith, people.
Black people are not a what?
Monolith.
Okay.
Period.
Because what are we talking about? We're all individual people. We have a shared experience that you may not understand. That does not make us the same person. Just because you and your best friend like chocolate cake don't mean y'all the same person. Y'all feel me? Are we understanding each other?
Yeah.
And Black,
110%.
there is more to Black than actual Black. Does that make sense? That ain't make no sense, did it?
Because of how the world is treating us, it has its whole culture, this, that, the third. That does not mean we are the same person, though.
That's crazy to me. Like, shut up.
Like, shut up.
Like, be quiet. Don't think that.
But yeah, that's like, there's certain conversations I'm not going to have with my white friends, and there's certain conversations I probably won't have with my minority friends that I would just have with my Black friends. Even Black people who are strangers, just because, again, like you said, they're just going to get it. They don't want to have to explain it. But sometimes it's hard, because sometimes it's like, when it comes to my friends who aren't Black, I will go out of my way to explain it because I want them to understand.
Yeah, also depends on the level of friendship. Like, the one white friend that I have, like, although there's certain things I want to talk about, I'm more willing to explain things to her than, like, just a random white person I just met.
Like, I have this friend, she's mixed with Black, white, and Hispanic. For the most part, to me, like, she's white passing, but I never thought she was white. I didn't think she was Black either, though. I didn't know she had the Black in her.
You thought she had something.
She looked Hispanic to me. Okay. Like, she did look Hispanic to me. She looked maybe white and Hispanic, but she definitely had, like, she didn't look like a white lady to me. To the majority of people, she looks like a white lady.
You know what they say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt in. But, like, they usually say, like, Black people can, like, tell, like, if somebody's, like, mixed with something. Like, we can spot that more easily than, like, other people. So, like, that kind of makes sense to me as to why, like, you could spot, like, another ethnic group in her other than, like, white, that she's being perceived by everybody else.
Yeah. But she's, like, we'll have a lot of racially based and ethnic based conversations because of her unique experience of not only being white passing, but having, like, growing up with, like, a Black mom. Like, she has, like, those Black mom growing up experiences, but she also has, like, her Hispanic heritage, but she's also being ostracized by every single group she's in. But because she's also ostracized from them, she doesn't know certain nuances. So there are certain Black nuances I have to explain to her that she doesn't get or she doesn't see because either Black people just either completely disregarded her altogether, or just because she is white passing, she has never experienced them at all. And even when she's, like, people know she's a minority, they just see her as mixed and not even, like, Black, just mixed. She's just a mix. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay. So my perspective on the boundaries, right? I think for me, I definitely, like, do have, like, those types of conversations with people who, like, white friends and stuff. But it's not, like, any white friends, definitely, like, somebody I'm really close to.
Of course.
Like, for me, friendships, like, they kind of come and go. That's how I kind of see them. So at this
Not
time,
us.
Not
hopefully
us.
not you guys.
We came
Hopefully.
and we never leave. Hey, we came and we never left.
We came and we never left.
We came and we never left. Anyways,
We never
continue.
left.
It's okay. I'm not gonna let her talk to
Hopefully.
you crazy, Jeanine.
Yeah, girl.
I'm not gonna let her talk to you crazy.
You don't
like
want to be
that.
friends. Go ahead and speak up right now.
I do want to be friends.
I
said
would never let her
friends.
talk to you crazy ever again,
I
Jeanine.
like being friends.
Oh, Jeanine not even squeezing your arm anymore. You messed up.
Lexi, don't say that.
They hugging, kinda.
It's a one-sided hug at the
It's a
moment.
one-sided hug right now. Hamsata holding on to Janine's arm for dear life. Hamsata patting it off. Hamsata
Anyways.
patting it off? Janine's patting it off.
No, but you
It's
can
a
like
narration. I wanna hold your arm in this moment. So we're gonna hold your arm.
Okay, keep going.
Your
Hamsata.
arm is soft too.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Don't do me the way I do you. Hell no! Nah. I squeeze. That sounds so bad. I touch. That sounds so bad. Never mind. Just keep on going, Hamsata. We friends. Keep on going.
We friends. But yeah, so like within that friendship, although we're not like necessarily like close friends anymore, I could still consider them like a friend.
Okay, anyways, move on.
I feel like for you to be good, you need to be consistent, and we're not consistent, so we're not good. But they're still a great friend. Like, you know, like I feel like the moments we shared and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we definitely like had a conversation about like colorism and stuff like that. And like there was times where like she was like unaware of things and I explained it to her, but it wasn't in like, I don't know, I really enjoyed the conversation and she was appreciative of that conversation as well. So, but it wasn't anything of my personal experience, you know, like personal things, definitely reserving that for people who are my identity group or can relate to that experience, just because that's like more personal and more like sensitive and like intimate and stuff like that. And I just don't feel like explaining to somebody who I have to already like adjust the learning curve for before they can even get to the point and really understand the like fruit of the situation. Like I don't have time for that. But like other conversations, yeah, I like having like deep like societal conversations, whether that be about race or like economic class and blah blah blah. So like with somebody else who may not like necessarily fit that, I'm fine with like explaining things and having that conversation. It's just more so how personal is this to me and how close is that person to me to have said conversations. That's how I view it and those boundaries.
And also I want to say this goes for Black people and people in specific like Black ethnic groups, blase talking to other minorities and people from other places. It is still also our duty to do our own research. Just because we're Black and we're often put on the other side of the spectrum as white and the most opposed thing, that does not mean we don't have to learn about other people's cultures.
Oh, 100%. Native Americans! I keep on saying Native Americans because...
And I think it's important.
Yeah. Native Americans! I'm going to keep on saying Native Americans because to this day, I cannot wrap my head around like what they did, the white people did to what Native Americans. Like, no, I said on my chest because. Go ahead. I'm mad.
Oh gosh.
I'm that mad.
Gosh.
Understandably
I feel like there's
so.
this strange. I don't know. Maybe this is just in my head, but there's this strange connection that Black people have with like Native Americans, like in a good way, not in a bad way.
Oh no,
I think more than any other like ethnic group.
I feel like because we kind of went through the same thing.
Yeah, but also I don't. Yeah,
I'm not gonna compare it. I think I just
not compare, but I'm just saying like there's some similarities within like our histories, not necessarily comparison, but you know.
I think the reason why I stand so firmly behind them is because like I feel like everybody gets
greasy.
and they get
no,
for real. No, literally. Like the disrespect, and that is still here till this day. Like the disrespect is just like it's outstandingly crazy.
Nothing has ever like repaired that. I
You
mean,
know what I'm
it's not repairable damage. Period.
And
but
I
it's
feel like
there was nothing made to even like
no reparations.
Yeah. And even in the US, like it literally happened in the US. I feel like it's the least talked about like amongst people. I feel like Black people get talked about first when it comes to minorities, and then it's like, oh, okay, let's talk about the Native Americans. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely understand you.
I feel
they
like
don't get their proper time.
Yeah, they don't get the amount of they don't get the conversations that they deserve, and it's just like, oh, can't stand.
You know, there's that law that passed where in some textbooks they're just saying that the Native Americans moved west, and they're not calling it the Trail of Tears anymore.
Oh, I saw that. Like they're actively
and they're
erasing their
trying to do the
history.
same. They're gonna stop. Some textbooks are gonna stop using the word slavery, and they're gonna put like unpaid workers or something like that.
Unpaid workers.
They're calling us interns.
That's not funny. It's not funny.
Interns.
They cut us interns.
I feel like that's so belittling and disrespectful.
And it's because they want to soften it, but like, okay, instead of softening it, let's just tell it how it is.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you softening history that happened?
This is the reality.
In the history, fairy tales, most of them junks were gruesome. Have you read an original Grimm fairy tale? That junk is disgusting.
I've seen like posts about
fairy
them.
tales.
But I'm saying like the kids could handle that then. Why can't they handle the word slavery now? That was real.
I don't care about what you can handle.
Why do they think they can't handle it? First off,
I don't
what does
care about what you can handle or not handle. I don't care. It's history. It happened, and the same way that y'all took so much energy to make these things happen is the same energy that you need to put towards making sure people know what happens. Stop trying to soften things. Stop trying to sugarcoat it.
Because the actual history
was slavery.
Gets lost.
Yeah.
It was slavery.
And the actuality, like now people are gonna be like, "Oh, what happened to your people wasn't that bad," or
they just moved. They just moved away.
Talk about some they migrated with bags, and like they were just walking for fun.
And then, like, let's say their families have like their rendition of stories and stuff, and they're telling that story. Exactly, and they don't have the facts there to prove what actually occurred during those times, because textbooks want to out here omit things and soften it up.
Written by white people, distributed by white people.
That's insane.
It ain't.